If you want to find out the direction of the normal force, get a nail, a hammer, something to hammer the nail into, preferably not your hand, and go like this. Nailed it! Also, don't do this on your kitchen table or a nice piece of wood so that you don't get yelled at. Pick something like this old fence board. Let's talk about the normal force. Let's talk about the normal force. So, I have a surface. I'm gonna put this cool handy dandy flashlight from SMUD, but you generate the power. Yay! Conserve energy! Except energy's always conserved, but yay! Save energy! Use cool flashlights. So I'm gonna put this cool flashlight on top of my surface. So why does that flashlight not fall down to the ground? So gravity's pulling on this flashlight, right? Gravity wants the flashlight to fall down. So why isn't it falling down? Well, the surface that it's laying on top of, or this board, hope you're not bored yet, is pushing up on the flashlight. So gravity's pulling down, the board, the surface, is pushing up on the flashlight. And so those two forces cancel out, and so the flashlight doesn't fall. So this book is on top of my head. The book is not falling through my head because my head is applying a force upward on the book. Gravity's pulling the book down, my head is pushing the book up. So why does my head, or the surface, push up on the book? Well, the book is pushing down on me. Like, I can feel the weight of the book on my head. And I'm like, yo book, I got you. I'm not gonna let you fall. I am morally bound to do so. So I feel a force from the book, so my head is going to respond by pushing back up on the book. Let's see if we're on the same page here. So my head is the surface. My head feels a force from the book, right? The book is pushing down on my head. So my head responds by pushing back up on the book. Book pushes down on me, I push back up on the book. So the force that a surface pushes on an object with is called the normal force. Now maybe that sounds a bit abnormal to you, but you see the normal force everywhere actually, so you're pretty familiar with it. If you have a plate of sushi sitting on the table, why doesn't the sushi fall through the plate, and why doesn't the plate fall through the table? Well, the surface of the table pushes up on the plate with the normal force to keep the plate from falling through the table, and the surface of the plate pushes up on the sushi with the normal force to keep the sushi from falling through the plate. So gravity's pulling the stuff down, and the surface of the stuff is pushing up on the objects to keep them from falling to the ground. So I keep saying the surface is pushing up. Does the surface always have to push up? Does the normal force always act up? No. So why is it called the normal force? Well, normal is actually just another word for perpendicular. Perpendicular, like a plus sign, right? So the normal force always acts perpendicular to the surface. Okay, but we've only been going surface level with this. Let's dive a bit deeper. So I have two things representing the direction of the normal force. The board is my surface, the nail is perpendicular to the surface, and this arrow is also perpendicular to the surface of the board, right? So if my board is horizontal, if my surface is horizontal, flat, then my normal force is going to point perpendicular to horizontal, so the normal force is going to be vertical. Now it's kind of windy, so hopefully my little sticky note doesn't get blown away, but I do hope that you are blown away by what I'm about to show you. The flashlight is on a horizontal surface. The flashlight feels a normal force from the surface, so the surface pushes up on the flashlight with a normal force. The flashlight feels that normal force, and that force is pointed perpendicular to the surface, or in this case, upwards. Now, what if I tilt the board that way? Now, which direction does the flashlight feel the normal force? Well, the surface is now pushing on the flashlight perpendicular to the surface. So now the flashlight feels the normal force in this direction, in the direction of my nail or in the direction of my arrow. Can my normal force ever be pointed sideways? Well, yeah, if I just rotate the surface to be vertical, the normal force is going to point sideways. And you're like, well, Tatiana, if you put a flashlight on the board, it's just going to fall down. Frick! No! Okay, wait, I have a better example. If you're still on the fence about whether the normal force can actually be sideways or not, let's give you an example with this fence. They say good fences make good neighbors, but I'm pretty sure my neighbors are really tired of me using the fence as a normal force demonstration. What's up, fence? I think you're weak. No offense, fence, but I think you're weak. Let's find out. I'm gonna push on the fence. We're gonna find out if the fence is weak. So check this out. I'm pushing sideways on the fence. I'm pushing that way. Which way do I feel the fence pushing back at me? The fence is pushing me back this way, horizontally. Oh, so because my fence is vertical, the fence is pushing me back with a normal force that's horizontal. Again, the normal force, horizontal, is perpendicular to my vertical surface. So we found out the fence was stronger than my thought. But in my defense, I didn't know that the fence could apply a normal force, but now I do. I am enlightened. So right now, go outside to your fence if you have one. If you don't have a fence, you can do it to your wall. Go and push on your fence sideways and see if you can relate that to the normal force. What do you feel from the fence? In which direction do you feel a force from the fence, and what force is that? Try to explain that to yourself with everything you just saw. Just swing for the fence. Give it your best shot. Okay, I've had to pull a few strings to get this corner all to myself. So I hope this part of the video doesn't cause any tension between us. Treat me kindly, please. I'm trying to help you. So I'm gonna throw you all in for a loop here. That pun was not intended. It was. If you are sick of everything, you're tired, you have no more patience, you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. So, I have a rope that is looped around a tree. So let's talk about another force. We call it the tension force. Tension, the force of tension. So what's tension? Tension is a force through a string, or a rope, or a cable, or something of that sort. So here, I have a rope. So if I apply a force through a string, I can call that tension. So is tension a pull or a push? Right? Because forces can be pulls and pushes. So what's tension? Is it a push, a pull, or both? Let's find out. So I'm pulling through this string. I'm applying a force through the string, and I think the tree feels that tension force. Like if the tree was weak, I feel like I could topple it over by pulling through that rope. I feel it. I feel the rope pulling on me too. So you can definitely pull through a string. So tension can be a pull. Can tension be a push? I don't know. Let's try. I'm gonna push through the rope. That didn't work very well. Like, I don't think I could push the tree over by pushing through the rope. I don't think the tree feels that force. Tension cannot be a push. I can't apply a force through a string by pushing the string. I have to pull the string. So tension is a pull.